just waiting for his touch. Better get ready.
Kia ora. I'm Sam Allen, local artist here in Tauranga, and this is my submission to the Public Art Fund. Behind me is my proof of concept for this wall at 57 Spring Street. I've had my eye on this wall for many years, but I've held back on pushing the go button on this project because I wanted to get my skills and experience up to a level where I felt confident that I could do this wall justice. And I feel like I've reached that point now. I managed to do all of this in 4 days with random test pots that I had lying around, half empty cans and brushes that are way past their use by date. So imagine what I could do with the proper equipment, proper materials, and 4 weeks to complete this. Clearly I'm not here for the money. Becoming an artist was probably the worst financial decision that I've ever made, but there's no other place that I'd rather be than right here, standing in the sun for 11 hours painting, so that people, when they walk by, they can have a brighter, more interesting day. And throughout the course of painting this, I've lost count of how many people have come up to me and said thank you for what I'm doing. Just that alone has given me the motivation to keep doing this, even though it is grueling physical work. But it's always worth it when people come by with smiles on their face and telling me about how they've had a bad day, but seeing this made them feel better. And it's people from all walks of life. It's little kids to 70-year-olds, you know, everybody you could think of, every demographic has come by and said thanks. So I feel like I'm on the right path with what my design is.
Nice job, haven't you?
Yeah, it's pretty
Everyone
good.
stops and talks to you.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very impressive.
Thank you.
So thanks, it looks great.
Cheers.
It really does. What do you think of the look? Thank you. Looks pretty good, eh?
Stands up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's just over here, bro.
Thank you.
Nice.
So I understand that there's a question to my level of experience, but I didn't have any experience before I painted this. I didn't have any experience before I reconstructed Humpty Dumpty. I didn't have any experience welding before I created these sculptures for Northern House Schools. What I lack in experience, I make up for with grit and determination to make the best piece of art that I possibly can. In the case of murals, I already have more experience than most in the city. I got feedback that I should work underneath a larger artist that has worked at a similar size, and I already have done that. I worked with Holly Rock on her mural at this site before it got demolished. I've painted, fabricated and project managed over 30 works of public art, including 3-story murals. I've worked with every single age group, from people in rest homes to preschool. I work with a multitude of marginalised communities, so I see the wider cultural impacts of a piece like this for Tauranga. My style in particular is very impactful because it doesn't require any intellectual investment before somebody gets something from it. The visuals are instant and impactful, but then there's a underlying theme running through it that once people are invested, they can discover everyone gets what they need from a work like this, including people with disabilities, little kids, and people that find art intimidating. When it comes down to it, public art is for the public to enjoy first, and then once they've been impacted by those visuals, then they can find the underlying meaning behind the piece. And so I think my style and my concept for this wall really impacts people immediately and deeply, so that they have the willingness to invest the time to understand it. On the other side of this board is a 2-scale hand-painted concept. Now this is a concept, so some of the elements aren't up to the standard that I would hold the final piece to. but all the main elements and composition are there. So here it is, the stories we told. The main theme of this piece is a parent reading their child a bedtime story. There are so many elements that have meaning behind them, so I'm going to try and rapid fire them. This is a space station resembling double-hulled waka similar to the Takatimu. The sails on the space station are a futuristic concept for space travel, where the sails use solar radiation to traverse through space. So just as the first people that came to Tauranga used the winds powered by the sun, so will our future people travel the stars using the solar winds. Astronauts are a modern symbol for human progress, in a similar way that God was before the Enlightenment. So the pose of this astronaut is the same as Michelangelo's God on the roof of the Sistine Chapel, which reaches out to mankind to become the best they can. So this astronaut, in a similar way, reaches out to the people passing by to encourage them to their highest potential. The symbolism of the astronaut brings me to the child tucked into bed, listening to the story, but refusing to take off their astronaut costume, because they want to embody the ideal of the astronaut, no matter how irrational it might seem to the parent. The parent wears a watch with a specific time, which its meaning I will leave a secret. There are 4 photos in the book. Top left depicts the aftermath of the Mount Tarawera eruption, which forced my nana's ancestors to move to Tuhorangi Marae in Te Puke. The marae and its land was gifted by another iwi. And that philosophy of helping people in need led my nana to being one of the most giving people I know. She adopted my dad when she had very little. Without that, I wouldn't be alive. So in a strange way, the reason why I'm alive is due to the Mount Tarawera disaster. The second photo is of Mawao from Sulphur Point before any development. The third photo is of the palm trees scattered around the city when they were first planted. And the fourth photo is an old photo of Spring Street from the 1920s. A horse and carriage spills out of the photo. The piece shows the development of Spring Street over time, with the 1950s classic car, then a modern ute, and lastly a futuristic version of transport. The buildings are a futuristic concept of living buildings. Buildings that are made of trees that intertwine to create a structure, with solar panels being part of the structures of the building. Lastly, the big eye drawer, a mechanical bird diving to catch an eel while another escapes from the painting into space. This is depicting our struggle with technological advancement, which is prominent in the psyche of today, but has always been a conflict of human invention. Spring Street itself, the road that this mural is on, is a product of road development covering over a spring and destroying the environment. My hope is that this opens up the conversation about how road developments in Tauranga have been used to disrupt the lives of Māori, like Te Puke Highway being built straight through the urupa of my great-grandfather, or part of Marapihi being cut off, or Cameron Road being built over the gate pa, or Whareroa Marae being surrounded by dangerous pollutants. But there is hope to escape this conflict, and the eel that escapes in this piece is travelling to Mars, which is a cultural symbol for the next frontier. So there you have it, the story being told as I see it. Now it's up to you to decide what story this wall should tell.